All right, guys, we are back this weekend at the UFC Apex to push into the end of 2023. It is headlined by an interesting matchup, right, between Grant Dawson and Bobby Green. So what is going to happen this weekend? If you're a betting man, I'm going to let you know how you should bet, or at least how I think you should bet. And does DraftKings have any odds of if Bobby Green is going to cheat? Is there going to be any headbutts, any eye pokes, any of that classic Green action? Any cage grabbing? What do you guys think? Leave it down in the comments. Also, quickly, before we get into it, I think this card is a bit of a sleeper card. Like, let's not lie, the main event, it's a little flat. I mean, very flat. Grant Dawson's not the most thrilling guy to watch, but there are a lot of good names on this card, a lot of fun matchups. You know, it's on at a fair enough time. I'm into this card. For real, guys, this one feels great because I don't really have a dog in the fight. There is no like main character in this card that I'm rooting for. It's just a good old scrap. So I'm honestly going to be happy if either guy wins. Now, having said that, I do feel Dawson is taking his career just a little bit more seriously these days. Lately, it feels like Green has been a bit more of a showman and an excuse maker. And let me know down in the comments, guys, am I wrong on that? Am I being too harsh towards Bobby Green? But I don't know. Look, let's have a look at these two guys, at least on paper, okay? Dawson peaking in his career, at least competitively, as if not, you know, interestingly to watch, but he hit the UFC after earning his contract on season 1 of the Dana White Contender Series. He's 29 years old, coming out of American Top Team. He's gone 8-1, winning each of his last 3 outings, but he loves his wrestling and his grappling. Almost too much he loves it to be a fan favorite. He can be a bit boring of a fighter to watch, and he needs a name like this. He needs a name like Bobby Green in a main event to just lift him up. Bobby Green, of course, he doesn't need any introduction. He's been a fan favorite in the lightweight division for 11 years, man. He's come out of Strikeforce and he's still putting it on people. But that does mean that the man is entering the twilight years of that MMA career, right? He's 37 years old. He's not really in boring fights. He's always recognized as one of the top veteran tests for, you know, new talent coming up like Dawson. But he has been pushed back before. The man loves his playful boxing. Him and Kevin Holland alone in a sparring room, even though there is obviously a weight and a height difference, but just having a play fun workout would be so fun to watch. Now, when you look at the odds a little more closely, here in Australia, Bobby Green is a massive underdog. He's coming in at Sportsbet at $4.10. And I agree with that. Look, Bobby Green has got good takedown defense. He used to have good wrestling, but I think over 25 minutes, he is going to start to struggle with that. The longer that this fight goes on, the more the wrestling is going to start to affect Bobby Green, and eventually I think his cardio will slip out. And Bobby Green is the sort of fighter where if he's a momentum fighter, if things aren't going his way, he will start to get frustrated in there and make mistakes, start to cheat a little bit, and just sort of feel the fight going away from him. And as that happens, plus the cardio in the air is coming out of his gas tank, plus the age, I do think Dawson is going to start to pile on the points. Bobby Green, guys, he's, 37, right? He's here for the name. The UFC is running the standard play, right? They're building him up as a fan favorite, and then they're feeding him to the younger guys coming up to build their name, right? I don't think Bobby Green is going to get finished, but I don't think that he is going to win. I think the fight is going to go to a decision like 48-47 Dawson. Then I do believe you're going to see us, the fans, on Twitter complaining that the main event was a bit shit and it sort of ruined what was a awesome card for the night. Then I think in the post-fight press conference, Green is going to kick up some sort of fuss or some sort of controversy and explain why it isn't his fault. He's going to say something like, oh, no excuses, but it was a really hard camp. Something like, oh, no excuses, but I was robbed. I think I did more damage with the hands. I think we're going to see something like that come out of Bobby Green afterwards. I think we're going to see a lot of us, the fans, on social media talking about, yeah, it was a bit of a boring fight, wasn't that interesting. There's going to be a lot of, oh, what's next for Grant Dawson? Like, oh, that wasn't very interesting, was it? But overall, after we sit down and watch the entire card, prelims, main card, I think we're going to have a damn good time. I think this is going to be a fun weekend. Guys, let me know down in the comments. Am I being too harsh, too realistic? Which way do you see the fight going? Do you think Green is going to win? And if you do, how do you see it happening? Do you see Green catching Dawson as he comes in for a bad takedown? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys have been enjoying these videos, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button. I'll see you all in the next one.